It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tyrone Lowe. This is my show, The Legends. And in the House of the Legends, I have a former lead singer for the legendary group, The Supremes. And I bring to you Miss Scherrie Payne. Hey, Scherrie.
Hi, Tyrone. How are
How
you
are you
doing?
today?
I'm doing okay. Thank you.
To my show, The Legends. So, what we're going to talk about is the beginning. Now, before you became actual Supremes, you were actually involved with a group called The Glass House.
Yes,
Am I correct?
Glass House, Invictus Records in Detroit, Michigan.
Also, let's talk about how you actually got started with that. And let's take it back a little bit further.
Okay.
As growing up as a child, were you actually influenced by other artists to the
Oh,
point where,
absolutely. Absolutely. My two favorite singers were Gloria Lynn and Billie Holiday.
okay,
I love them. I would buy their albums and I would go down in our recreation room in Detroit and I would put their albums on. And we had pole lamps. I don't know if you might be too young to remember that, but there were color bulbs in those pole lamps. And I put on the 3-color bulb pole lamp and I put on one of the records, say like Billie Holiday, and had my little microphone and I would just start singing. And for that time, I was Billie Holiday. You change. That
that's cool.
sparkle in your eye, dear, is gone. Until my mother would yell down the stairs, turn that music down. It's spoiled my whole mood.
And so you got with the Glass House, and how did that actually start?
Well, I was actually teaching school at the time.
Okay,
I had graduated from Michigan State in '66, long time ago, and in medical technology. But I knew I didn't want to be a med tech. I was matriculating, it was making my parents happy,
right.
and so I was teaching school. And one day, Frida had come from New York, and she had recently signed with Invictus Records, and so
Okay,
Eddie Holland had called her, and I was playing the piano and singing one of the songs I had written. I had written this song for Gladys Knight and the Pips. Of course, they never got to hear it.
right.
Everybody Should Know a Little Pain. That was the name of it. I remember it. And I was
Okay.
singing real loud, purposely. And so then Frida said, Eddie wants to talk to you. So I went in the kitchen on the phone. He said, what was that you were playing? I said, oh, just a little tune I wrote. He said, oh, do you have any more? I said, oh, yeah, I have lots more. He said, would you like to audition for our company, Invictus Records? I said, oh, I don't care. He said, well, could we send a car around for you? Ron Dunbar, I'll pick you up. I said, okay. And so Ron came, picked me up, took me to Lamont Dozier's house.
Mhm.
And I sat there with Edward and Brian, and let's see, Ron and McKinley Jackson and a couple of others. And I played about 5 songs. And then they said, we want you to join our company. I said, yay. He said, well, we don't need another lead singer because we have Frida, then we have blah, blah, blah. So but we're going to start a group.
Right.
And you will be the featured singer, you along with Tyrone Hunter, who was a ballad singer, beautiful voice, tenor voice. And we're going to feature it around the 2 of you. And I said, okay. So the Glass House started. And originally it was Ty, myself, Gloria Hendry, who
Mhm.
stayed for a few months. And then she left and went back to New York and became one of the James Bond girls. In fact, the first Black girl to have a romantic interest with
Okay,
James Bond. Yeah, Gloria Hendry. Yeah, she's legendary herself.
okay.
And but then we got Pearl Jones and Larry Mitchell, and that's how the Glass House evolved. And we did Crumbs Off the Table, which I co-wrote along with HDH. And in fact, one of the songs we sang, I remember Edna Wright from the Honeycomb coming in the studio, and she said, Scherrie, what was that? I said, you like it? No, this is what Edna told me. You
Right.
like it? I said, you like it, you can have it. And I said, oh, she said, okay. And
Mhm.
it was a few months later, I was in the studio by myself with Barney Perkins, who was the engineer at that time. And And we were just sitting there talking. Then he put this song on. I said, "Oh, I haven't heard this song in a long time." And then I listened for a while, and halfway through, I said, "Wait a minute, that's not me singing." He said, "No, that's the honeycomb. They gave
Okay.
it to the honeycomb." I said, "Oh." I said, "Well, I don't care." Ty and Larry and Pearl was so mad. I said, "What's the big deal?" I said, "I
Right.
didn't care that much for it anyway." That song was Want Ads, which went on to be a big
Right. What
million seller.
it hit back in those days. Yes, it was.
But you
Very
know what
much.
I said? It wasn't meant for me. It was meant for Edna and the girls, Shelly and Carol.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so we move on to the point where, because you was a lead singer for a lot of groups. I mean, you know, and so when Diana Ross actually decided to leave the group, were there auditions for the Supremes, or
You know,
at that time?
I think Barry wanted Jean Terrell. He had seen her, I think, in Florida at a fight. She was Ernie Terrell's sister.
Okay.
And then he saw her someplace, and Ernie Terrell had started singing, and she was the drummer for her brother. And he
Okay.
saw her, and he wanted her for the Supremes, but Mary and Cindy wanted Sarita Wright. They
Okay.
loved Sarita, and they decided, yeah, we want Sarita. So, but anyway, Barry had his way, and Jean replaced Diana as lead singer. And
Okay.
then in 73, that's when Jean decided she wanted to move on because she didn't feel Motown was doing enough for the group. So she wanted to leave, along with Linda Lawrence, who had replaced Cindy Birdsong. And so at that time, the Glass House wasn't doing a lot. So I was touring, doing backup behind Charo, the singer.
Okay.
Latino singers, Charo, along with
Right. Okay.
Carolyn Crawford, who was at Motown. We were both doing backups, traveling around the country. So then Lamont Dozier, who was my boyfriend at that time.
And he was a very big producer at that time.
That's right.
That's
And
right.
he had come out to California on a business trip, and he ran into Mary at an event, and she told him that Jean Terrell was just leaving the group, and did he know of another lead singer that would be good for the Supremes? And he said, "Well, yeah, my girlfriend Scherrie, blah, blah, blah." So he put me in touch with Mary, and I sent a couple of the albums and pictures of myself. And then she called me back. It was a Thursday night. I never shall forget it because I was over my best friend's house, Walter and Barbara Gaines.
Okay.
Now, Walter was a member of the group The Originals, and he's deceased now. He passed away January the 17th in 2012, but Barb is still my best friend to this day. But anyway, we were over their house, Lamont and I, and my mother called and said that Mary had called, and she gave them Walt's number. And Mary called me and said, "I loved what I saw. Could you come out to Los Angeles?" I said, "Well, yeah, okay. When?" Now, this was a Thursday night. She said, "How about Saturday?" I said, "Saturday?" She said, yeah. She said, "I've got the ticket waiting for you at the airport in Detroit." I said, okay. And so Walt and Bart were so happy. Everybody was screaming, and Lamont so happy. So after he dropped me home, I told my mother, and I got scared. I said, "Oh, the Supremes, no, that's too big. I got to call Mary back and tell her I can't do it. It's too much." And my mother gave me that mother-daughter pep talk, because my mother was a real not forceful woman, but she always was so supportive of both Frida and me. But so Saturday morning, I got on that flight, and Walt's brother took me to the airport, in fact, Herbert Gaines, and landed in L.A., and Cindy Birdsong and her husband at that time, Charles Hewlett, picked me up at the airport, and we went straight to Mary's house, and suitcases and all, and we started rehearsing because I didn't know they had a gig the following Saturday.
Oh,
in
wow.
New Mexico at the State Fair. It's like, dang, yeah, I had to learn all this stuff, songs, choreography, everything. And so I did it, and I remember we went to the State Fair that Saturday or Friday night or whatever. And we were going in the artist entrance, and the fans were all lined up, and they're yelling and screaming. And some were calling me Diana.
Wow.
Diana. So, see, all brown people don't look alike, dang. So I did the gig, and Mary was so happy, and Bill Lowe, our manager at that time. And so that's how it started, 1973.
So at that point, when you became an official Supreme, were
Mhm.
you guys actually recording out of the original Motown recording studio?
Not in Detroit.
Oh, okay. Not in
I never
Detroit.
recorded in Detroit. It was always Los Angeles.
Oh, Los Angeles. Okay.
At the studio.
All right. And so, how was Motown? Was Motown good to you at that time, or was it, the record company? Was it good to you?
Oh yeah, they were very nice to me. Yeah, and so we had a history already with Frida and I with Barry because
Right.
our families knew each other. My mother we went to the same church, Bethel AME Church in Detroit, and my mother worked in Barry's parents' store, Mama and Papa Gordy's store, when she was a teenager.
Okay.
And so she remembers Barry as a little boy working in the store. And I remember even when my mother was sick in the hospital, Miss Mama Gordy came to visit her, and Papa Gordy came to her funeral. But anyway, they were close growing up. And Frida almost signed with Motown several times. The first time, Barry looked at her and came to check her out because he had heard about Frida singing around town. And she was like 15 years old, 14, 15.
Okay.
And so he wanted to sign her, and his partner, George Kelly, who had a club in Detroit, they picked us up in George's white Cadillac, and we went to New York. My mother, Frida, and me, George, and Barry. And I was like 13, 12 or 13. And we drove to New York because they were trying to get a record label deal. And it didn't happen at that time. But we go way, way back, way back. So my mother knew his sisters, everybody.
So we're going to take a little break right now, and viewers will be right back with the legendary former Supreme Scherrie Payne.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
Of a great love, it will light up, it will surely light your darkened world. If you'll just believe. Stoned love. A love for each other will bring fighting to an end. Forgiving one another, time after time, doubt creeps in. But like the sun lights up the sky, it's a message from above. Well, I find no other greater symbol of love. Oh, don't you hear the wind blowing? Stone love. I'll tell you I ain't got no other, got no other.
For the love of house.
The dynamic
For the
soul
love of
sound
beats.
of
For the love of
DJ
dance.
Tyrone Lowe. DJ Tyrone Lowe. DJ Tyrone Lowe.
That's nice, 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 nice,
DJ Tyrone Lowe. The dynamic soul sounds of DJ Tyrone Lowe.
took me from the shelter of a mother I had never known or loved any other. We kissed after taking vows, but that night on our honeymoon, we stayed in separate rooms.
Hey, we're back. This is Tyrone Lowe. This is my show, The Legends, and we're back with the former Supreme, Scherrie Payne. Hey, Scherrie.
Hey, Tyrone. You know, I sang backup on that original recording.
Oh, really?
Along with
That's
Thelma
interesting.
Hopkins. Yeah. Along with Thelma Hopkins, Pam
Mhm.
Vincent, Joyce Vincent. Yeah, sure
You know, your
did.
sister really, she hit a band of gold with that too, you know. So let's, to actually be a Supreme, let's talk about the very first time that you actually did a live performance with them. What was running through your head? Were you nervous?
Oh, goodness. I don't think I had a chance to get nervous because there was so much stuff I had to remember. That was the
Right.
one in New Mexico. Remembering lyrics, to have my steps right. And it's like, I'm sure I said a prayer before we went on stage. And I got through it
Yeah.
with no
So
mistake.
we just recently lost Mary Wilson,
Yes.
and may she rest in peace.
Amen.
We all miss her because she was an asset to the Supreme. She was actually a
Oh,
link.
she was a
You know,
foundation. Yes,
I
yes.
actually was watching a footage of when Diana Ross actually first introduced her as a Supreme.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I couldn't get the footage on here in time, but I really want to do a tribute to her.
mhm.
So describe the relationship between you and her as friends.
Okay. Well, Mary was a hard worker, and that was her life. I mean, her legacy, and she lived it to the fullest. She was so vibrant, and that's what's so unreal about this. I was talking with Frida about it last night when she was over here, and we were still saying, because she brought me a program from her wake services, and it still seems unreal because Mary was just so vivacious and full of life, and we
Mhm.
never imagined something like this would happen. I'm sure she didn't either. And I don't like to say lost because she's not lost. I know exactly where she is because she was a Christian.
Right.
She she's just resting right now until the day Jesus comes back, and we all join him if we're not there already. But um, Mary was cared about her health, though. She was very food conscious and eating the right foods and keeping herself in shape. Um, we had so much fun in the dressing room. We would just
Right.
laugh. And yeah, I mean, there were times probably when we disagreed about something, but we talked it out. And she was just, it's just hard to describe. It seems still so unreal.
So, Sherry, what are you doing these days? I mean, are you still writing? Are you still producing at this time? Or
Well, I've been writing screenplays. Haven't gotten any one sold yet. Stage plays. Don B. Welch Productions has done 2 of my
okay,
plays. Yes, the first one was called "It Always Rains on Sunday," about a Black family in North Carolina that was hiding family secrets for 27 years, and we put that on in 2012, I believe.
hmm
Dang. And then he in 2018. No, 16, he did my play, A Lady in Waiting. And that was about a woman on trial for murdering her husband.
wow, okay,
And I remember, I'm trying to think some of the stars who came, Marla Gibbs, Telma, I mean, so many, from Grey's Anatomy, Jim, um, you know his name. I can't, I'm having a senior moment. Forgive me, Jim, dang.
that's
Uh,
okay.
Okay. So many celebrities came. Then we did it again at the Barnsdall Theater in Hollywood in twice, August and November of 2018.
Okay,
2018 show, the August one, Quincy Jones came.
all right.
Glodine White, Barry White's former wife, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to think so many celebrities, Mickey Stevenson, Sherry Gordy, uh, uh, Amanda Lewis, uh, um, oh God.
Well, I wish I was there to see all these people. I mean,
Yeah.
I would be so
Yeah,
thrilled, you know.
Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, so many celebrities that you would know. Ernest Thomas,
Mhm.
and the list went on and on and on. It was a packed show, August and November, and only 5 characters in that play. So Donald wants to do that again as a movie.
Okay.
And yeah, we talked about that. And this last April 19th, we were supposed to, at the Barnsdall Theater in Hollywood, we were doing another play of mine, 10 Good Years.
Hmm.
And we were in rehearsals, had got tickets made up, everything. And then somebody came in and said, there's this uh, virus that's going around and it's hit the United States. So I don't know, we might have to postpone the show. And we said, oh no, are you kidding? I said,
Hmm.
yeah, I heard about it. I said, I think about 11 or no more than 20 people in the entire United States has gotten the virus. And out of 330 million people, 20 people, come on. I said, we won't have to
Wow.
postpone.
Yeah.
And Donald said, that's right. I'm not postponing anything. Well, that was in February. In March, we got the orders for the Barnsdall Theater. They were closing down and
Yeah.
postponing. Canceling.
Everything was shut down.
Everything was shut down.
My question to you is, and I usually ask all my artists, because it's informative to newcomers that's actually coming into the game of entertainment. What do you suggest, or do you have any good suggestions for those that are just coming up and stepping up into, music, singing, the whole craft itself? Can you give any suggestions to them?
Well, learn your craft. I mean, back in my day, when we came up, people sang because they just loved to sing. We didn't really study the business side of it. We were just happy to be singing, recording, and we weren't prepared for the future. And which is so sad because so many people didn't get their just due. But now these kids, they are really savvy. They know their business. If you write songs, learn about publishing. If you're a singer, learn how to sight read if you can, and or if you need vocal training to preserve your voice. My daughter is a vocal coach, Scherrie Payne Phillips, and she has a vocal studio in Studio City here,
Hmm.
and in the Valley called La Voix, LAVOIX. That's French for the voice.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to look her up, lavoiestudio.com. But anyway, she's so I even take lessons from her and my sister too to work on my voice because I hadn't been singing as much. So she's helping me to try to get my voice back in shape. And she has wonderful students. Even one of her students, she has a lot of young people. The voice on Steve. Oh dang, what's the name of this show? It's a cartoon show. He plays the lead character on that show. Very popular show. Steven Universe, I think it's something like that. I can't remember, but she's fantastic, and she has 2 master's degrees. My daughter's
Okay.
I'm very proud of her. But
So it seems like the legacy of music is just running right through your family.
yeah,
It's like
yes, indeed,
that's a
yeah.
good thing.
Mm-hmm. So, and I want to get back into my songwriting. This one thing about the quarantine, I start pulling out, trying to get rid of stuff, which I haven't been very successful at. At first, I was gung ho, and I'm going through boxes, pulling out. I had boxes of cassette tapes and stuff. I was like, a lot of these kids don't even know what a cassette is. But anyway, I pulled out my cassette tapes of songs I had written. I found a lot of songs. I said, dang, this song was good. This song could be redone today. So
Right.
that's one thing I've done, but I haven't furthered it. I used to, I live in a townhouse now, but I moved in the late 80s. But before that, I had a house up off of Mulholland Drive. And in my music room, I had an 8-track studio. And so I would
Okay.
go there and lay
8-track.
down.
Oh my God.
8-track
That's
studio.
some bad stuff,
And I would lay down the piano first, and then I had a drum machine, and
Right.
a drum and the piano, and then I would add on strings, horns, bass. I couldn't do guitar, but I would have somebody come in. My friend Jim Gilstrap, like my brother,
Right.
he would come in and do stuff for me. And at one time, I remember I had a session, and it was a song called, I think, Sin City, USA, which is
Okay.
part of a musical I wrote called The Dream Seekers. And I remember Wawa Watson came in and played the guitar. Munyango Jackson did percussion. I'm trying to think who played the bass. I'm trying to think. Was it Bobby Haynes? So many live musicians, and it was just
That's the
fantastic.
difference between today and yesterday. So, it's been a pleasure And I mean a real pleasure to have you on my show.
Oh, thank you,
You
Tyrone.
know, and thanks for sharing the history about yourself, the Supremes. And I know they've been around for at least 30 years.
More than
And but I thank you so much for actually, actually sharing things to my viewers, to your viewers, I should say. And come again.
I
You
would
know,
love to come again anytime. You mean
and
it's
this has been
over?
and this has been another T-Lo production. This is my show, The Legends, and we are talking to the legendary former Supreme, Scherrie Payne. And y'all guys, stay tuned for another show. Thank you, guys. Bye, Scherrie.
Bye,
We'll
Tyrone.
talk later.
Okay. Everybody
It's
stay
not just
safe.
mine, his or her house. This is our house.
My assignment, my calling is to inspire, uplift.
You have to make sure your people are partying.
All I want to do is just bring joy to the dance floor and watch people dance.
Tino.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.